Going to be matchmaking UFC 332. Okay, I understand that this is not the next card. The next card will be International Fight Week, but this card is UFC 322. I have this also taking place about 2 weeks after. Of course, I don't know the actual release schedule. I'm predicting that they do 2 fight nights in July this year. Of course, they could do only one. And maybe this is just my next card, and the prediction doesn't really matter when it takes place. It could be the August card for all I care. However, this is what we got, starting with the prelims. Okay, this is a fun one, guys. This is a fun matchup, okay? You got King Green versus Michael Johnson. Tell me this isn't peak, man. Tell me you don't freaking love this matchup, okay? You get the Unk versus the Unk. Okay, they're both like 38 years old. Michael Johnson just got knocked out. King Green just put someone away. Like, guys, if this doesn't get you hyped up, dude, I don't know what fight would be able to actually get you hyped up if a good King Green versus Michael Johnson to open up the prelims doesn't, okay? You'd be King Green going, meh, meh, you know, like how he does in every single fight. So it's like, that would be so funny to see him up against Michael Johnson, okay? Listen, this is just one of those fun fights. It doesn't really matter a lot. Give the winner of this title shot. All right, on to the next fight. We have Josh Emmett versus David Onama. Josh Emmett and David Onama are 14 and 15. I think they're both coming off a loss. However, I do think it should be a kind of one stays, one goes. David Onama coming off the loss to, I believe it was, what's his name? Steve Garcia. Coming off a loss against Steve Garcia. You know, he got knocked out early, and, you know, maybe this is a chance for Josh Emmett to get a win, man. You never know. You never know. You know, I was either thinking this, or you could do, you know, a Josh Emmett versus a Bryce Mitchell. That could be good. Oh, wait, shit. Never mind. Do not. Never mind. You know, Josh Emmett versus David Onama. That should be a good fight. I'd probably take David Onama just because of youth and how bad Josh Emmett has been looking lately. You know, Mr. Clean, I think, would be getting styled on, unfortunately. However, it would be a much closer fight than the last fight that Josh Emmett took. All right, on to the next fight. The main event, what do you call it? Headlining the prelims, we have Derek Lewis versus Tyrell Fortune. You know, this is just a good matchup, okay? I wouldn't mind this being like the co-main event of a fight night in like Nashville or something like that, like Bedtime 7. But I think this opening up the prelims in July makes a lot of sense. I don't think that Derek Lewis, after his last performance, deserves a main card spot. Neither with Tyrell Fortune. It didn't really... Their performances in their last fights weren't great. However, I do think the matchup makes sense. And I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be a fun matchup. You know what I mean? I would probably take Derek Lewis by chinning him, which seeing Derek Lewis get a win is always fun. It's never not fun to watch. So, yeah, I think that this could definitely be a banger fight. All right, on to the main card, you guys. We have Yair Rodriguez versus Lerone Murphy. Lerone Murphy, mate, come on. Oh, my days, Lerone. Sorry, it's bad because, like, I guess the majority of, you know, YouTube I do watch is from Bedtime MMA. You know what I mean? So I'm not coming up with a lot of creative impressions, unfortunately. But oh my days, Lerone Murphy flicking the calf kick. Flicking the jab, against Yair Rodriguez. This would be an interesting fight. I'd have to see how well that... I mean, I don't think Lerone is very good offensive wrestling. Honestly, I think Yair is a really bad matchup for a guy that's going to just try to straight up strike with him. I think his kicking game would be dangerous. I would actually sneakily take Yair Rodriguez in this fight. Are we serious? I would also take... You know, I was thinking about it. I think Yair Rodriguez might be the worst matchup for Gene Silva in the entire division. I think that Gene Silva would comfortably beat Volk, but I think Yair's more of a question. Call me crazy. I just think that, you know, Yair could deal with, you know, the insane style of Gene Silva much better than, like, because I don't know about Yair's chin. I don't know the lore behind it. We're getting off topic. I think this would be a fun fight. The winner of this stays alive in title talks. The loser... You guys can fight the winner of this fight for all I care, you know what I mean? So it is what it is. I think that this could be a fun fight. Yair versus Lerone. book it, open up the fight night. I mean, that's got big implications on the line, man. You know what I mean? It's got big implications. All right, on to the next fight. I made this fight in my 2 videos ago. Absolutely no one watched that video. We have Magomed Ankalaev versus Volkan Ozdemir. You might be thinking, Mr. President, why are we giving Magomed Ankalaev Volkan Ozdemir? The problem is Magomed hasn't fought since October, and everyone else is booked. Okay, so Magomed won't be fighting until, let's say, if on a normal timeline, next October, which is like a whole year off the sport, which I don't know why he's taking off. It's not like he got flashbanged KO. Okay, he doesn't need all this time off the sport. And Volkan Ozdemir is coming off a good win. You know what I mean? And I just think I would like to see Magomed get a win, and I think he would honestly do pretty well. And by the way, to that one guy in the comments, man, that was talking crap about Magomed, about how he lost to Paul Krieg, okay, 10 years ago. Listen, guy, okay, Magomed's a really elite fighter, okay. It's not talked about enough. Like Magomed, okay, in my opinion, I actually had Alex Pereira winning the fight, the first fight. I had Alex Pereira winning round 3, but that's neither here nor there. Magomed's, he's probably the best fighter in light heavyweight. And I don't want to see this turn into the WWE. I'm not going to go on another rant like this again, but I don't want to see this turn into the WWE. I would like to see the best fight the best. And unfortunately, this is the best matchup today that we can make for Volkan Ozdemir, because I don't want to see Khalil Rountree get another step up into the rankings and lose, dude. It's like Magomed, that would be Khalil's like 3rd loss out of 4 fights. Like, I'm good, bro. I'm good, Khalil. You got to fight down. You got to fight down, my man. I'm sorry. I need another Khalil legacy win before we get back into talking you in real fights. Okay. I know these next 3 fights might sound a little bit unrealistic. However, hear me out. Okay, the UFC has been in such a drought lately. Okay, it's kind of a problem. You got Topuria, you got Topuria fighting Gaethje. It's like we don't have that big fight feeling. We don't even have that big fight feeling really for Pereira versus Gane. I feel like there's matchups being left on the table, and I think a really good way is that you just have this crazy stacked month of July after the White House card. You get all these title fights running, and let's just get them going. Okay, let's just get them going. All right, I know this is gonna sound unrealistic. However, just hear me out. All right, in the featured fight, we're going to have, a matchup that honestly is one of my most looking forward to. It is a women's fight in the women's division, which is going to be Zhang Weili versus Mackenzie Dern. Okay, I would like to see Zhang Weili go back down, try and go get her belt, and I think she would beat Mackenzie Dern. The problem is it's kind of just a dead end for Zhang Weili. She's never going to get a chance to go back up. Maybe she defends her belt another 3 times, and then we can have that conversation. But I think that this is the next fight to be made in that division. I think Zhang Weili has done more than enough to go deserve and earn that shot up at the belt. And, let's see what Mackenzie Dern can do. It was kind of a boring first fight for the belt, but her and Zhang Weili, it's probably taking Zhang. I mean, I feel like Zhang is just different, but after you see what Valentina did to her, you just never know. You know what I mean? So that was just kind of weird. But I think to open up a card like this could be. To open up the featured fight, you got that big fight feeling. The problem is, like, the 3 fights I do have above this, or the 2 fights I do have above this, will also probably be a decision. So the problem with this is you could definitely have, an hour 15 of fights. Like, this will probably go to decision, and this will probably go to decision. This will probably be a knockout. This will probably be a finish, and then this would be a finish. So it's like, I guess I'm stacking the prelims more for finishes. However, whenever I get to these main cards, I want fights with consequence, okay, that really matter in the division, and fights that make sense. Okay, I feel like the reason why honestly we're not getting as good of fights is because we're not making fights that make sense. We're not getting fights that close to each other. You know why Gaethje and Patty were such a good fight? One, because Patty has absolutely 0 offensive grappling, okay? But other than that, it's just, this is the next fight to make. I don't care if it would be that boring of a fight, which I honestly don't think it would be. I think Zhang Weili's a baller whenever she shows up. So I think this could be a good fight. All right, on to the co-main event. This is a fight that has to be next in the division. However, some things I did see today kind of contradict that, which I don't really know how I feel about that. But we have Petr Yan versus Merab Dvalishvili 3. Merab just broke his nose again, which I don't know how to feel about that. great for his career. Maybe his cardio is reduced another 10%, but Jan is also coming off back surgery. I'm probably going to take Jan in this fight. I think he has downloaded the data. You know, it's 5 rounds. It's a 5-round fight. That's tough for Merab. Like, I know that's what he's built for, but he's getting older. You know, like Peter Yan said, man, the machine breaks, dude. Like, that's such a hard line. That's such a tough line. Oh, my gosh. But the machine does break, and I think the machine broke. And I think we're going to see Merab go on, like, a 3 or 4 fight losing streak after this. I think he probably, after this fight, maybe gets a rematch with, like, Umar. Whenever O'Malley fights for the belt, he loses that. And then he fights, like, I don't know, Bryce Mitchell and lose. I'm joking, but I don't know. I feel like a downfall's coming up for Merab, and that's really sad to see. But I think Petr Yan keeps his belt. I'm rooting for Merab, though. I hope Merab the best. All right, on to the main event of the evening. Again, this isn't a fight that you're going to be necessarily shocked by. Okay, I think that this is obviously the next fight to be made. However, I think that this would just be such a stacked card to have all these fights on the same night. We would have Volkanovski versus Movsar Evloev. Okay, guys, this would be, like, honestly, for a hardcore fan, a dream pay-per-view. You got these 3 banger fights. Okay, you got Volk coming in, defending his belt for the second time. Low key, okay, if he gets one more title defense after this fight, 155. What else is there to lose, man? 155. He's earned his shot up at 155. He goes out there and he beats a guy like Gene Silva, okay? Or the winner of this fight, he goes out there or he fights Aljamain Sterling, 155. Let's freaking do it. Let's get Volk that second belt because he's going to beat Movsar. He's going to style on Movsar, and then we'll go from there. Okay, but Volk is going to beat Movsar. I'm very, very confident of that. The problem is I just don't know who Gene Silva really fights next. Okay, I thought the Aljo fight was kind of a layup that they could do. Maybe the Yair fight now. But, you know, it should have been... It's just like the matchmaking doesn't make sense, guys. It's like it should have been, like, let's think about this here. It should have been Lopez versus, let's say, Lopez versus, like, Yair. And then the loser of Movsar versus Lerone against Gene Silva. But this is not what we got. And that's not what matters here. We're going to get Volk that title shot against Movsar Evloev. It's the fight that makes sense. Let's get it done in July. Let's get Volk. Let's have him defend the belt a second time. Let's freaking do it. Let's bring the UFC back. Let's bring these banger fight cards back. Okay, listen, guys. This would be the best fight card of the year. Okay? You would have Volk styling on Movsar. Petr Yan, I don't know. He might actually get a finish against Merab here. He might actually get a finish. Or maybe what I'm doing to myself right now is I'm making the argument of Magomed versus Pereira. How I'm like, oh, Magomed beat him once, he's going to be able to kill him again. No. Well, I mean, Merab already styled on Yan, though. That's the thing. I might take Yan by a late finish, that would be so sad. And then this fight, again, another huge fight for the women's division. It's weird that I'm actually excited for all the next women's title fights. This fight, Magomed would need a finish, and I think he could get it, and it could bring his star power up slightly. And then, yeah, it's just like these are big fights. Every single UFC fan would look at all these fights, maybe adjacent to this one, and be like, these are all fun, big fights, especially with this undercard, guys. Especially, make this just the main event. Like, come on. Is that a tattoo of a cross chain? That's fascinating. Let's take a look at these tattoos. Okay, so we got the Statue of Liberty crying. Ooh, what do we think this leads to, guys? What do we think this leads to, man? He's got some freaky tattoos. Oh, man. King Green, dude. What a guy. All right. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. I appreciate everyone coming out, staying all the way to the end. I have so much fun making these. I hope you can feel the passion coming out of me. Get ready for another post tomorrow. Probably going to be late again because I simply like to post these at 11:30 at night, staying up way past my bedtime, guys. But anyways, see you guys later. Have fun. Goodbye.